Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to another 10 at 10. Today is the 10 at 10 for Thursday, another Thursday 10 at 10 for September 21st, 2023. Let's go!
Y'all, let's go. I'm Tim. Get excited. We're going to talk about 10 of the 20 trees getting listed today at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sign up for that weekly email. You get the email that tells the full 20 so you can prepare a little bit ahead of time. Y'all, we work hard each and every week to bring you cool plants, and today we're bringing it.
All right, guys, you've heard us talk about it. The end of this month, so very soon we're going to be hitting some great fall color here at the nursery, but we're going to be hitting something else. Instead of Shark Week, we're bringing y'all Buckholz Week. So be ready. It's a full week and a half of content with walkthroughs of that garden, some incredible plants you've never seen before. Get excited. It's going to be a really fun week. We're still figuring out how to air all this stuff to give it maximum impact. I think you're going to enjoy Buckholz Week.
Y'all, so today's 10 at 10, we got some cool plants. Let's start off on this side.
It's got a Mystic Macawa, y'all.
Mystic Macawa will sell out very quickly today. It's a little dwarf Macawa type that's bright orange in the spring. Make sure you check out fast and finish that checkout process, because just because you add this to cart doesn't mean it holds it for you. Once you complete that checkout process and you've got an order number, you got a Mystic Macawa with your name on it. That's
all I gotta say about that. Not really. Awesome plant. Oranges in the spring. You know all about this one, guys. You know, it'll take you right into the Mystic. I pull a little Van Morrison on, place them into the Mystic every time we offer this one. Awesome plant, incredible spring color. I do find this one has its best color, typically in the ground and in some morning sun. So I get some outrageous colors on this plant. Really fun one. Introduction by our friend Crispin Silva. Incredible Macawa form. Maybe one of the highest sought after of that spring interest Macawas. It's definitely in that top 5 for overall Macawas for most people.
And in that Macawa forms of the ones that have a spring interest color, it's one of the slowest growing in that Macawa family. I mean, Mystic Macawa, it is an amazing plant in the spring with that orange pink color in the spring. It is amazing.
We can play some Mystic the rapper too. Mystical. All right, you want to keep going on your side?
Sure.
It's the age of bronze, y'all. We got Bronze Age.
Acer Solemn Bronze Age gives an amazing bronze color in the spring. I mean, the color's fantastic. Then it goes to a green. You get some of that bronze color new growth again there in the summer. But the fall color is where this tree really lights up with bright, bright yellows infused with orange.
Yeah, we're actually at the most boring color of this one. They green up right now. That fall color hits some incredible highs. I mean, that's really when most of our employees start grabbing this one's fall color. I love it all spring and summer, though. It really puts on a show. Bright red flushes over top of those maroon overlays, and definitely bronze is a factor. You get some weird bronzing, especially late in the summer. Now, the fall colors, I've had just incredible pinks, reds, oranges. I think some of the best color I've ever seen was like an intense pink color. It really keeps showing out.
Pair that with something like Akko Emote, you're going to have color changes all throughout the seasons, different fall colors. Big leaf on the Japonicum. This has got a larger Acer Solemn leaf on it. I mean, I love Bronze Age, everything it does. I think it's got a wonderful name. A lot's within a name. And this plant is actually an introduction by Talon Buckholz. It's his wife's favorite tree.
I say a lot. Haruko said this was maybe her favorite all-time tree by Talon. Your wife's always your biggest critic, right? Your wife's always like, that one's a good one. Yeah, I think you could have done a little better on that, Tim. My wife lets me know sometimes. She's like, step it up a little bit. All right. What's next, Tim?
Well, next we got Horizontalis.
Oh man, this one doesn't get enough love, y'all. So this one has dropped a couple times on that limited sale. We're bringing a set here. This one is a weeping form from Australia.
Yeah, it's a selection from down under. It has this really unique sort of weeping and horizontal growth habit to it. Goes yellows to oranges in the fall. I like this tree just because it has such a unique habit. It's not your true like Kiyohime. You see a name like Horizontalis, you're going to think something like Kiyohime, but it's more like some of those plants in that Pendulous Treasure series that we have. It really just has that cascading, arching habit that grows horizontally.
Think of something like Nakakomoto Weeping or Jiro Shidari, shorter and wider. It's got a much wider overall stance. It definitely puts on a lot of arching that gets pretty wide. I mean, Horizontalis actually describes it very well because it's short and very low. Incredible oranges and red fall color on this one. I think it's an interesting plant to be growing. Definitely a rare one coming from Australia. You can put it in a topsy-turvy and grow it the way it is in Australia, because I mean, they're on the other side of the planet hanging on like this right now.
Speaking of hot places.
All right, we got Hot Blonde, y'all. Boom.
Hot Blonde selection by us here at the Area 51 collection. It's part of our Heat Seeker series. This tree grows very fast and has an amazing fall color. Did I mention it's yellow?
Incredible plant. Hot Blonde will probably be the best tree we ever named. We talk about it a lot, but we offer it a lot because it's awesome. A lot. This one has intense yellow colors in that early spring. One of our favorite fall color maples as well. It can hit some incredible shades of red to pink red in the fall. I would say sometimes the fall color on this beats Osakazuki, if not rivaling it for me. Incredible, large leaves. Now, another factor about this plant that we don't talk about enough is it's likely a hybrid with Acer Shirasawatum aureum. So it's probably a Olivieranum X Shirasawatum. Now, one cool factor about that is this one leaves out late, so it avoids frost because of that Shirasawatum parentage. So not only is it heat tolerant, it avoids a little bit of frost, which is awesome here in Western North Carolina. Now, we do list this one as zone 6 through 9.
Now, one thing I like about this is you get a yellow foliage, but you often have a red border around the edge, a slight red border, kind of like what Shirasawatum aureum does. This tree is such a fast grower. One of the things I love about this is the summer flushes of new growth can be like a coral pink over top of that yellow. And so it just keeps putting on color changes throughout the season. Again, it's a fast grower, it loves the sun, and it's great. It's got great fall color. Bright yellow tree, 4-year landscape. This is a tree you need.
It eats up the heat, y'all. It loves it. It's part of that Heat Seeker series. The Heat Seekers love the heat. They really do. The Olivieranums hybrids we're doing, they grow faster in high heat conditions. I've got one here that is beautiful, but I have customers that have it in even hotter areas in South Carolina, and their trees are bigger than the original here, which makes me a little jealous that they're growing it so quickly, but it does love that heat. You could actually put these liners into 3 gallons and finish them in 1 year. That's how quick this tree grows. Incredible plant. See what the hype's about, y'all. Check it out if you don't have one already. Acer Olivieranum Hot Blonde. It's the devil chicken, La Diabla.
It's not the devil chicken.
According to Cal Naughton Jr., it is.
La Diabla means the devil woman in Spanish. And this one leaves out in the spring with like a fiery orangey red kind of color, and then goes to this green color you see now. I mean, this thing just is basically a more intense spring interest upright Japanese maple.
I need a tree named Shake and Bake to pair it with. Awesome plant. This one, it really shows out, especially in that early spring garden. Lime green bark, great interest on it all year. Exceptional colors on this one as well. That's really what sets this one apart, is that spring color.
Yeah, I mean, the spring color on this is just intense, and that's the best way to describe it. It has this fiery appearance, and that's where it gets the name La Diabla. I mean, this tree, very unique, very rare, and we released it for the very first time here at MrMaple this year.
Yeah, this one, think of it almost like a phoenix. Like different than phoenix, but similar in that spark of color. Really shows out. Oh man, I've been waiting for this one to return for a minute. Put this one in a tuna sandwich. We got some relish, y'all. This one's funky. Now, this one, it might be a blue Japanese maple. It's the closest thing to a blue Japanese maple, I'll tell you that. Really weird tree. This one has one of the weirdest style variegations. So it has a cream variegation on a very emerald colored green. So it's one of the darker greens you'll ever see. I've seen it sometimes in a heavy shade, almost looking more blue-green. I mean, there's no true blue Japanese maple. I will say this is the closest you'll ever see to a shade of blue so far.
Now, relish is one of those plants that is extremely interesting during the summer. When it first leaves out in the spring, it may look a little more green. As this tree matures, the leaf matures, you start to see the differentiation between the different shades of green on the variegation. And as the summer gets on further, it's showier and showier on the variegation on relish. And it has those different shades of green, and that's where it gets the name of relish, because apparently it looked like some relish that you'd put on a hot dog. But you're gonna relish this tree in your garden. It is really cool, really different. 6 to 8 foot in 10 years. And this is a tree that's just, to me, really cool and different.
It's next level. I love this one. Another factor is this one's very multi-stem, so it looks great in a container or patio planter. That multi-stemmed approach to it gives you a ton of foliage. And yeah, no matter what you're doing with this one, it is an incredible plant. A little more late day shade will give you a little bit more of that darker shade on this one. So if you can give it some late day shade, I notice you get an even darker appearance, which I think picks up the variegation. The contrast between the dark foliage and that yellow to cream border really is what makes this one special. All right, y'all, next up we got the kinkiest maple of them all, Crazy Crinkle, or Kinky Crinkle. You can call it whatever you want. Talon said he named this after a lady that worked at his nursery who was kind of crazy. So the original name was Kinky Crinkle, so I ain't asking why it was originally named that, but it was originally Kinky Crinkle. You could throw this one in the Shishkashira family for sure.
Yeah, it basically has a very vigorous form. It has a twisting, curling leaf like Shishigashira, but in the early spring, you can actually get a purple border around the edge of this leaf as well. So it's a little bit of like Shishigashira x Sumagaki x something faster growing. I mean, you get some nice vigorous growth on this plant, but that twisting and unique texture on this foliage gives it a little bit something extra.
Yeah, it definitely has some of those Shishigashira vibes, that curling, twisted up look to it. Oranges to reds in the fall color. It's really a showstopper. Fast grower too. Typically for me, it's been over a foot to a foot and a half of growth a year. So it does fill out nicely. And yeah, it's kind of a crazy tree, kind of a kinky tree, kind of a fun one. Tim's always a tough crowd, but I know if I got Corbin laughing behind the camera, it's a good 10 at 10 joke. All right, guys, next up, we got Shinda Sojo.
Y'all, Shinda Sojo gives you some really good color in the spring. This is a plant that just gives you some bright reds. And it is really unique in that spring color. The spring color can look almost like the fall color, and that fire engine red color is really what Shinda Sojo is known for.
Now, Shin actually means improved. So if you're a fan of DeSojo, this one just means improved. They are very similar. I always let people know Shinda Sojo is a seedling from DeSojo, or so we're told, and it has a little faster growth rate and a little different color. They do have a lot of similarities. Another factor, this one was supposed to grow a lot faster than DeSojo, so it's a great source for bonsai material. You can put this out in the ground, make a full-size tree of it, collect from it, and Shin just meaning improved. So,
yeah, awesome plant. Love Shinda Sojo.
House of the Rising Sun, y'all.
So guys, next up we've got Acer japonicum, Rising Sun.
It's been the downfall of many a poor boy. All right, Rising Sun, Acer japonicum. This one brings it. Really showy plant, like big leaves, always a popular one amongst japonicum collectors, and excellent fall colors, which is not a surprise being an Acer japonicum.
Yeah, we've got a full cultivar highlight on this. You should check it out, of this tree in perfect fall color. It can get some of the largest foliage of any of the Acer japonicums, really like dinner plate size foliage. An amazing fall color tree. The big leaves add a good texture out there in the landscape. And this is a tree that's just, it just gives you that something extra. I mean, I love japonicums because they just add that tropical feel out in the landscape, and Rising Sun definitely will do that.
So the song Rising Sun, the animals made it popular. Crazy fact about the song, nobody actually knows the true origin of the song. It predates American music. Some people think it originated from Africa and came here. Some people say there's ties to it in the 1600s in Irish music. There's so many different ties to the song. Nobody can tell you the true original version of Rising Sun, which makes it even creepier. Makes it an awesome tree though. Check out Ace japonicum Rising Sun. Next, something a little creamy.
Y'all, next up, we've got Metasequoia, Glyptostroboides, Little Creamy.
All right, y'all love the Dawn Redwoods. We're always trying to bring back the Dawn Redwoods. I'm a big fan of Dawn Redwoods. They're incredible plants. They're fast growing. They can take that wet spot in the garden like a champ. And Little Creamy, I have a giant one of these in my garden. Don't let the name fool you. It says Little Creamy in it, but it's not a little plant. It has a little creamy variegation in it. So it's a showstopper on that leaf. It does make a full-size Dawn Redwood that's beautiful in the garden. I've got one of these that's probably 20 foot right now. It is an incredible backdrop to so many maples, and it gets out there pretty quickly too. You know, once they get established, it's not uncommon to get a foot to 2 foot of growth a year.
Yeah, one of the things I love about this plant is as this tree matures, you start to get more of this variegation all throughout the foliage. And it really has a unique creamy variegation on this. The foliage itself has really fine, really thin needles. And so it's really short needles in comparison to many of the other cultivar selections. But that variegation on this one makes this one really unique and fairly different.
Yeah, awesome plant to provide shade for your other plants and variegated as well. So variegated Dawn Redwood's always going to be interesting. I know our late great friend Tom Cox was a huge fan of this one as well. He told me he loved Little Creamy a couple times because we've offered it a bunch here. We're trying to get Dawn Redwoods back being a thing on Mr. Maple. So check out with us. We'll be offering more different types. We've offered up to maybe 30 different types of Dawn Redwoods over the years, and we're starting to build some stock numbers in those again.
Well, y'all, that was 10 of the 20 trees getting listed. Sign up for that email. Check that email out for the other 10 trees that are getting listed today at 10 a.m. If you're not signed up for that email, you should be. But you can also go to MrMaple.com at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and figure out the full 20 that are getting listed.
Let us know what your favorite tree is here on the table. You guys know Mystic is going to go faster than you could say Mystic. It's gone already, but be ready for that one at 10 a.m. We do have an ample set of that, but they will sell out very quickly. It's a very popular tree, and we do offer it at a great price.
Heads up, they do technically list at 9:59 a.m. So get in at 9:59, you'll see them, you'll have a little bit more of a head shot trying to get these plants checked out, because many of these, like Mystic Macaw, may be sold out by 10 o'clock or 10:01.
Even though we have a great size set, they do go quickly. Now the reason we do that is because we're a small family business, and it allows everything to load so that we can make sure everything is up at that 10 a.m. time frame. Sometimes with 20 plants, one might take a little longer to load. That's the reason. Sometimes it's just a few seconds early. So don't kill the messenger, but we hope you enjoyed getting some awesome trees today. Our goal is always to get you everything you need, whether it's Mystic, whether it's Hot Blonde, whether it's a Kinky tree, whether it's a Rising Sun, or a Little Creamy. We've got a lot of crazy stuff here on the table. It's fall, but we're still bringing it with the 10 at 10s and twice a week. Nobody's bringing it to you like this.
So watch out, coming up real soon, we got hashtag Buckholz Week. You're gonna love it. Hope you enjoyed this 10 at 10. Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.